I was one of those people that thought the world is a cruel place. So I had this one mind, and it was to live like the people I saw on the TV.
The homes of our favorite TV families hold a special place in our hearts.
Lucy!
Hi, Daddy.
Well, now you can go inside those homes thanks to a Hollywood artist named Mark Bennett.
He memorized the floor plan of classic TV homes, putting pen to paper to create his fantasy blueprints.
They're carefully researched blueprints of these make-believe houses.
Bennett says that all his drawings are done from memory.
I've got the trash cans written where the trash cans were, what the neighbor's name was, what kind of car they drove, sometimes their phone numbers.
What would possess you to sit and do such detailed blueprints as these?
You get people saying, "You're crazy. Why are you doing this?"
Mark, what up with you?
Looking back on it, people didn't understand how personal these drawings were to me. They were just something that I had that I felt safe with. And eventually, they're almost destroying my life. I was alone a lot when I was a kid. I grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee. My mom had a celebrity following in this town. People knew who she was, and she performed on television every Saturday. Kids, we were accessories. I always felt like luggage. My father didn't want kids, and there was never any time that I felt close to him. He seemed to be standoffish. I just remembered being as invisible as possible, even though it made problems for me later. My parents had some church friends, and every Friday night they would come to our house. My brother and I would stay out of the way. One day, one of them comes up to our room and he wants to talk to us, and he wants to separate us, and he wants to fondle me. I knew something was not right here, which scared me a lot. But then you're 5 or 6 years old, you're thinking, well, it's not so bad because at least he thinks I'm special. And every week he would catch me and do his thing. He eventually was caught by other parents, but it was never spoken about. It was never discussed. It was never punished. I guess it was just kind of shameful. So I just bottled it up inside.
I did something bad and scared.
I was so lost and confused that all I had was to be able to watch television.
I want you to listen real careful, because this is important. You're my son, and nothing or nobody will ever change things between me and you. Because I love you more than anything in the whole world.
Thanks, Paul.
And everything is okay for those little 15 minutes of the teen dances and the barbecues. Those kind of things told me that's what life's supposed to be about. And I remember thinking if I could just be in their house living that kind of life, I would be encouraged and loved. The shows became such an obsession and so personal to me. I would stockpile envelopes full of information on some of these shows, the little details of their lives. And the more information I got, the more they became my family. So I would take this information and place them like a puzzle on a bigger piece of paper, and I would draw primitive sketches to make a complete house. And when I grew older, I would look at these magazines of floor plans that you can build, and I would notice, oh, they do double lines for the walls. And that's where I learned my technique. I couldn't get the proportions of the rooms sometimes, but I would count the number of footsteps the actors took to get in and out of a room. the Leave It to Beaver house. That was the first finished blueprint. I wanted to make it look like it was as real as possible. And they went through like 17 different revisions before I got it right. It really made me feel like I was really born there and I could be part of that wonderful world. In reality, I missed out on all school activities. I did not excel in sports, joined no clubs. I don't fit in. That was a big reason to leave. I had a girlfriend, and we moved to California, and we got married. And I had a fresh slate. The most important thing was to have interests in other things besides watching the TV. I had a job at the post office as a mailman. You're outside, you're in the beautiful weather, there's a decent paycheck, and we bought a house. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have this life that I always wanted, but never knew how to get it. And I was so excited about it. But during that time, my wife would tell me, you don't always want to be a postman. You know, you need to quit this and be somebody. Be somebody. And then before you knew it, she was gone most of the time. And we got divorced. And I'm living in one small studio apartment. What was I gonna do now? I had no family there, and no relatives that came to visit. I didn't have anybody.
But this is perfectly normal. Every boy goes through this.
So I went back to my TV families. I had the drawings under my bed. I pulled them out, and I was in heaven. The routine was, I'll go to work every day, I come home, watch the TV shows, and draw. And then the same repetition started the next day. Day after day after day, for years. I don't want any surprises in my life. If you're just watching the TV, no one's gonna hurt you. And eventually, I had 63 complete drawings. I was so proud. They're my Valentines to these shows. I wanted to share them. Maybe this isn't a ridiculous idea to present to the public. So I decided to just put them up in a bar in Hollywood. Maybe there's somebody else out there like me. The very next day, the gallery called. These are my babies, and now they're exposed to the world, and I was just so nervous. And I felt like watching people from a distance. People were connecting to the shows just like I did. And I thought, maybe they do think I'm okay. They laugh at what I say and could spout dialogue back to me. All the blueprints sold. And all of a sudden, I started having friends, and people would take me to dinner, and I met more new friends. It was just this magic moment. And then it started to snowball. I'd never had that kind of like attention or recognition before, and so I said yes to everything.
I understand that you grew up not only wanting to be Wally Cleaver, you actually wanted to live in his house.
Oh, sure. Good or bad, I did it.
And he has a book. Here it is. It's called TV Sets.
I didn't really realize that there were going to be new pressures.
ABC tracked down the man behind this book, of obviously a devoted TV fan.
Camera crews follow me around on the street. All this stuff was happening to me, and I didn't know if I was ready for it. Inside, I was feeling like a lonely child. And then it became like this cottage industry where people were asking me for certain drawings. There's a difference between the shows now. So it was more cynical. I remember doing a sketch, but I kept thinking to myself, why? I mean, there's nothing to aspire to.
So you couldn't draw a rendering of Jerry Seinfeld's apartment, could you?
Those aren't my families. These people are my families.
It became this constant grind. The money from the blueprints I put into the new work, and then the new work wasn't selling.
But this is perfectly normal. Have a little confidence.
And it turns out that I overextended myself, and I was near bankruptcy.
All you have to do is be yourself.
Be yourself. And I lost my friends, and I didn't know why. What is wrong with me?
Perfectly normal. You just can't buy friends.
Every boy goes through this.
The important thing is we're all together.
You want to tell us?
But this is perfectly normal.
I love you more than anybody.
It was just like something snapped. I was totally lost in my own head. So they shipped me off by ambulance to this mental hospital. They didn't want me to leave. I finally ended up digging the layers away about what happened to me. My doctor said, you got to get away from the television. It was like a way to cope, but it wasn't enough. We need to get help for you, meeting people and talking to people and being out with people. And I thought, oh dear, I'm not ready for this. You know, facing the day without the TV families. And they got me through a whole bunch of stuff, you know. These families got me through so many problems. And the nice thing is I documented them and I don't have to share them anymore. They're out there and I can let it all go. Once I was released, I had to have plans. One of those plans was moving back to Chattanooga. And it was on my terms. This was my home. And it had good and bad memories. And I always hung to the bad memories. It doesn't have to be that way. What had happened that caused so much pain, I'm not forgetting it. I'm not ignoring it. But I'm not going to be a victim anymore. I'm going to be okay. I continued to be out with people. And slowly but surely, I got better. And I met Jennifer again. We had gone to high school together. When I told her my whole story, she didn't say, you know, you're damaged. She said, I understand. It's okay. It's so funny. I always wanted the TV families, but I didn't care for, in reality, what families were. It's not always easy. You're just enjoying them for who they are in that moment. And that's what I want to do. So I try to be as loving as possible. I always put a straw in her soda. And she turns to me and she says, "You make me feel so special." And that's what it's all about.